Welcome back. Well, also happening today, a new tax system going into effect in India. This goods and services tax is a new single nationwide system to replace that complex web of state and federal taxes. Now, this new tax will change the cost of nearly everything that people buy, and the government hopes that this will help to stamp out tax evasion and corruption. Our correspondent Mahima is in New Delhi, and she joins us now. Mahima, this is an ambitious project by any standards. Why is the government so confident it will work?
See, the government is very, very confident about GST that it will work. First thing, the kind of consensus that the parliamentarians have shown this government is across party lines and across ideologies. Everybody contributed to the passage of GST bill in the parliament, which is how it is now implemented as a law across the country, as a tax across the country. And second, if we see, the people of the country have also shown a resolve in the past to fight corruption. When last year the government demonetized high currency notes, people were very, very supportive of the government, and now they are confident that they can bring about the second major economic reform in just 3 years into their tenure. Also, the government is heavily relying on the benefits of the GST bill because they believe it will help in decreasing tax evasion, which is a very, very big problem in India. They also are very positive about the fact that GST will streamline the whole economy and will boost businesses in India. So these are the many factors which the government is feeling confident about. But then on the other hand, if we see, the government itself and the finance minister in particular have accepted the fact that GST will certainly see some teething problems, and it is a sort of a disruptive change which will be good in the long term, but once on its implementation there will be some initial hiccups, and only after a year or so we'll be able to see the effects of GST, whether they prove to be positive or negative.
Now, Mahima, on the point of the disruptive nature of this change, as we saw with the demonetization move, it was so sudden. There was all this chaos for months and weeks in the wake of that announcement. Are we expecting a similar level of uncertainty this time around?
See, certainly there are a lot of apprehensions among people and businessmen. They are confused as to what will eventually be the tax rates. They are, because the whole system of taxation will be uprooted and the new system will be put in place. So people are not really clear about what will become expensive, what is said to get cheaper, how will the tax system work. There is a certain amount of confusion at present. But then, as I told you earlier, people of India have signaled a resolve in the past that they really want to get rid of the problems of corruption, nepotism and tax evasion in the country, which we saw during demonetization. And even when people had to stand in queues for hours, they were still very supportive of the government. And as we saw after the elections that were held post demonetization, the BJP came out with a thumping majority, which just showed that the people support them and the kind of reforms that they are bringing. So yes, there will certainly be some amount of problems, but then people are positive about it. Though there have been some protests across the country, especially by textile traders who want to be out of the ambit of tax in GST, but the government says that's not possible. So even in spite of the protests and some sort of glitches in a few places, people seem very, very positive, and the initial hiccups are going to be there, but in the long run, I think GST will be a success for the Indian economy.
And hopefully it brings with it a great measure of patience by all quarters. Mahima, thank you very much for the update in New Delhi.